When it comes to purchasing headlamp assemblies, make sure you choose the ones that you can trust under pressure. Well, there you have it. I know which one I would buy. No matter what the project is or the subject, we should be doing our homework on what to look for when we purchase things and compare them to others. You can always take a high grade something and compare it to mid and low grade and then pick the one in the middle. Usually that's what I like to do. Save a little money, but you get something long term, something that's going to last. Headlights aren't an aesthetic piece, they're a safety piece. If they do not do their job or perform, man, are you in trouble, right? And so am I if I'm out there with you out there. So let's look at how to do this correctly if you're purchasing them and what to look for. Let's go behind the scenes. So when it comes to comparison of headlight assemblies, I want to show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, aesthetically looks great, but up close tells a different story. You want to, hopefully when you order it, they'll show you all different pictures of angles. And you can zoom in, save yourself from buying it, hopefully. You can prejudge. Quickly look at the gauge of wires. The thickness of the wire, that tells a lot. There's resistance and ohms that go through this, and the amperage will melt those bulbs, or the socket can heat up from the wrong amperage going through that. Seals. You can't really see it because you're not going to be able to touch it, but if you see anything like this, that goes to show you what kind of workmanship they've put into it. That they're willing to sell, I'm not going to go with that they're great seals in here either, because it's so loose. Bulbs. You can tell kind of when you're looking at the front of the bulb inside the lens. If it reflects a lot of amber light, that more than likely is going to be an amber glass, not painted amber. Painted amber over time, and I'm not talking years, I'm talking months or hours of the light being hot. The paint just chips and peels away. Now, I don't know about you, but I have better things to do than always constantly replace a bulb in a headlight assembly that I paid money for. So, if you get 3 years out of the bulb, that's pretty good. 3 months, not so good. So pay attention to those things. Plus, that bulb and where it seats will end up burning right around that whole loop. Venting is extremely important because, well, we all know there's condensation out there, right? With the temperature changes of everything. Whether it's dew in the morning, light raining, and then the temperature drops or rises, you're gonna have condensation. And you wanna make sure that there's vents. In every single chamber, you have individual chambers, plus you have the whole body. And over here we have a vent, individual chambers, and then one over here. This one has no individual chamber vents. It only has one vent with a plastic cover. Now, plastic does not really care for coldness and heat. It doesn't open and contract like a rubber does. And then this one is an up. It's not even working. It doesn't even go through. They just punched it through on the mold, but there's no hole there. And how light sockets lock into place. They have those cutout notches for a reason. You lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, right? So you left pops out, quarter turn, put it back in, quarter turn to the right. It stops. You're not gonna be able to tell on picture, on a picture looking at that, being consistent, but if you do get it and you say, all right, I'm gonna test this and send it back if it's one, doesn't meet my standards. Just like I said before, take those sockets and twist them. If they go completely all the way around, they're not making a good seal, and moisture condensation will end up in there, and the bulb is just going to keep blowing. Also from vibration, because its seal's not tight, so that means that that socket has play in it. Vibration, it's not really a bulb's friend. And the last thing, when you look at the front of the lens, and you want to look for a continuous bead of glue, that means it was put on by a machine. And if you see anything where you can see actual dust particles inside the lens in a photo, that tells you it wasn't a sealed item. It's not perfectly sealed, and it wasn't made in a sealed environment, a clean environment. So that's going to cause problems further down the road. So I hope that video helped you out. I like to do the comparison myself every time I shop. So headlights, look at the wiring, look at the seals, see if it's consistent. That makes a world of difference. Don't forget, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell, turn on all your notifications so you won't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching.
What do you think? What was that?
There you go.